Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. You are welcome. Thank you for joining. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Thank you for joining. Let's wait for others to join and then we can start. Hi, Kezi. How are you? Good to see you. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Were you waiting for long? Okay, so let's wait for others to join, then we can start. Okay, maybe we can just you can just send them messages, but I'm sure they're on there when they're coming. So you're very welcome. Thank you for joining. Let's wait for the rest to come. Yeah, it's actually hot. Saudi is hot. It's hot now. Eh? It's like very very hot. It's actually hot. Even in the night. Now it's getting hot. It's May and June, and we're coming to June, so June will be worse. Yeah, it's getting hotter and hotter every day. Yeah, yeah, it's good. 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 And how are you? How is Saudi Arabia? Grace is also in Saudi Arabia. Mhm. Mia as well. Mia is also in Saudi Arabia. Oh, she's here in Dubai. Let's wait for them to join. Let's wait for them. Have you reminded them to come to class? Hi, Juliet. How are you? Good to see you. You're very welcome. Thank you for joining. Waiting for others to join, then we can start. Okay, but good to see you. I think I'll start in like 2 minutes. Let's wait for it. Hi, Hajara. Hello. Hi, Mia. How are you? Good to see you guys. Good to see you. I was waiting for you guys to join, then we can start. Okay, so you're very welcome. How was yesterday? How was your day? How was your evening? How did you spend the night? Was it nice? Mia, are you okay now? Are you feeling better? And today, I hope you have enough time to stay in class. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. Hi, Sim. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. I hope Brenda can also join and Grace as well. Yeah, but I'm going to start. So, yesterday, I hope you had some time to think through how you can build capacity. I hear everyone in the building. I like that. Capacity through community. I tried to show you what you're going to be experiencing. Whatever I am teaching you right now may not necessarily apply now, but I am taking you through lessons that are going to help you, just like I took you through transformation process from encounters to purpose. It may not necessarily apply immediately. Okay, so these are lessons that will apply you uh, later as you go on. But at least when you have the knowledge and be encouraged to continue. Okay, so good to see you all. Let me introduce myself to those of us who are new here. My name is Jacinta. This is Build Beyond You. This channel is dedicated to those who are rediscovering their identities, nurturing their innate abilities, and overcoming all the obstacles that hinder one from flourishing in their true identity in the event that you step into your true leadership authority. Okay. And of course, this is all about purpose. It's about identity alignment. It's about building structures and systems in every aspect of your life. It's about leading without emotional instability. So, what we do here is I mentor you, I guide you on your journey as you create your own roadmap. You create your journey, you navigate your pathway to get to where God expects you to be. Okay, so yesterday we are in the empty vessel series, and yesterday was lesson 7, today is lesson 8. Yesterday we looked at borrowing, not a few. Okay, don't not a few is not limiting yourself to just where you are, but beyond you. And I left you an assignment. I asked you to go and check what must be emptied, what capacity must be built, what community you need around you, and what areas require humility and teachability. Okay, because if you are given a greater responsibility if a greater responsibility comes into your life today, would you have the capacity to sustain it? That was what I asked you. Okay, so as a matter of progression today, I hope you all carried out a little bit of the exercise. Anyone wants to share before I continue? Anyone wants to share anything from yesterday? Yesterday was about understanding what it means to prepare and to partner with other people to be able to prepare, to receive, to multiply, you know. Okay, let me give you my number so that you can inbox me directly, okay? Actually, yesterday I wanted you to inbox me. I wanted. Yeah, that's my number. Good afternoon, Brenda. How are you? Good to see you all. Hey, today you're all in class. No, that's good. That is good. That is good. Okay, that is good. Good to see you all. Grace, good to see you all. Okay, overthinking every small problem. Okay. Like I told you, Sim, you must be a critical thinker. Hi, good afternoon, Grace. It's good morning on your side. It's good afternoon on my side. Good to see you all. Good to see you. Good to see you. I'm so happy to see you guys. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Okay. So I want us to start. Yesterday we looked at borrow, not a few. I hope you are all not going to limit God when you're going through this process. Do not limit God because you do not know what He is planning to do, what He has prepared for you. So do not limit God. Okay? Okay, so today, as the title you have seen very clearly, we are talking about shutting the door. Now, you may not shut the door right now because you have not yet reached that part, okay? But I will guide you. And as you go on through the process, you will keep referring back to the conversations we've been having in these classes, okay? I take on the classes, you go through the process. How long the process takes, at least you have in mind that, okay, I had this, now I'm experiencing it. You may even experience it 1 year from now, but I have to give you the message now. Okay? So when I say shutting the door, you're going to understand what I mean. Shutting the door, getting into that secret place, okay? Because it's after you've gone through a refinement. Refinement happens when you are preparing, borrowing vessels, doing that and that, and then you go into consecration where God completely separates you. So this formation that happens behind closed doors. Okay, that's the reason as to why we have to understand the steps. I'm going to take you through how this whole process works, how from what stage, what happens. You first go through an awakening. Okay, before I begin taking you through the steps, how the process works, or how God takes you through different stages, so that you can understand where am I at, and you don't give up. Okay, most of the times we give up when we feel like it's too long, it's too much pain, and then we give up along the way. A lot is going to discourage you, but please do not give up. Okay, after your capacity has been stretched, yeah, through community, the preparation, what we're talking about yesterday, accountability, you're here giving me a lot of accountability, correction and refinement. There's a lot of refinement that is going on. You change your vision board, no limiting God anymore. Ajara, thank you. That is very beautiful. Thank you for that update. That's very beautiful. Now, this is the stage in your life, yeah, of transformation, the one I'm talking about today, where this public gathering is no longer enough. Okay? Now, God requires you to completely separate. Okay? And that's what this lesson is going to be looking at. We're going to be looking at the verse 4 of Second Kings chapter 4. The verse 4 says, "Shut the door upon thee, upon thy sons, and enter." Enter, shut the door, and then the oil starts pouring. Okay? You see, um, this hidden stage between awakening and your formation, your true formation. Because remember, now you are awakening to my family did this to me, this and this has happened to me, these friends betrayed me. How can they do this to me? Like that's an awakening, even before you go through refinement, healing, all those midway processes, like steps in the process, the transformation process that He gave you. After the first part is awakening. You first get awakened to, are you, is this for real? And that's where most of you have been. You have been in that point where you are awakening. So I want you to be patient in the process, in the formation of the new you. You actually have no idea who the new you is. So this is called the process of consecration. It is the season where destruction just falls away. It falls away. The old patterns are confronted repeatedly, repeatedly. Rep- I don't know, you will experience those provocations, for example, anger. You will experience those provocations like so many times until you overcome. Because that's what this process is all about. Yeah? The old patterns are confronted repeatedly. The hidden oil is refined. It goes through refining, 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 refining. Okay? That is testing. Then you fail. Then you're corrected. Then you have to be patient. Then you have to be obedient. Even when you don't feel like it, that is what refining is all about. And you see, many people mistake this stage for delay, isolation, or stagnation. Yet, it actually is preparation for sustainable assignment. You don't want to be handed over a responsibility when you have not gone through testing, failure, correction. Then you exercise patience. Then you obey again. Then you fail again. Then you meet the same exact person, not person actually, spirit in a different body, probably an upgrade of the one before, but you're not able to discern immediately. Then you fail. Then you go back. You got this refinement. It is to take out every inch in you that cannot be sustained when your final assignment is given to you. So before this oil that is in you can multiply publicly, before it can multiply publicly, it must be purified privately. Privately. And you see, God will give you an inch of where you're going. He will put you there just for a short time so that you can, a lot should be exposed. Everything has to be exposed. He takes you back and starts dealing with you. Starts dealing with you. Starts dealing with you. Then he takes you back again. Then you realize, oh, okay, it's a bit different now. I'm a bit different now. So this lesson is going to help you as a leader, as a builder, as a visionary, as a steward to understand why God allows repeated tests. Don't feel like you are a failure. No. Why familiar patterns keep returning at deeper levels and why shutting the door is necessary before you carry authentic oil. For that authentic oil to come out as authentic oil, you must have gone through repeated tests. The thing that challenges you most when you talk about anger, it's going to come repeatedly in different environments, different people, deeper levels until you are completely refined. So don't run away when this is happening because I'm warning you. You are going to experience, you're going to be confronted repeatedly. I come again? Okay, let me come again. I understand, by the way, kids. Now, as you go on in the process, I'm going to repeat again. Why? Because I want us to be on the same page. Okay? When you begin the process of, I want to know who I am. What is my identity? What is my purpose? Am I sure of what I think is my purpose? I may think it is this, but when it actually isn't. What is it that I have not yet completely taken out of my system? Because if there are things that are still there, you may not know or you may know, and you have not dealt with them, and you enter that step, you announce yourself early, they will come for you there. And they'll come for you at that level when you did not handle the levels before. It will be much harder and much more painful. But if you've handled them at this level, like let's say you have these vulnerabilities, you will keep repeatedly having you'll be tested in those areas. At this level, at this level, at this level, you'll be tested. The same exact problem will come here, will come here, will come here. Say it's fear. It will come in the awakening. It will come during refining. It will come at every step. Now, as it comes, you will be experiencing it in a more mature way at every point if you don't chase it away. Allow it to come until you overcome it. That is what endurance is all about. So, like yesterday, we talked about you building capacity through community preparation and accountability, then maybe correction and refinement. Now, in this transformation process, all that public gathering, community, accountability, correction, refinement, it gets to a point and it's no longer enough. Now God needs you back home in like locked up, separated completely. Separated. Because now you have gone through all that. And when he is separating you, that's why he said, shut that door. You and your sons enter. Shut that door. You have finished gathering the vessels. You have finished uh, spending time with the community. You've had these encounters, because the encounters, I said, you cannot build in isolation. You've had these encounters. You've had, oh, they've uncovered a lot in you. You've tried this. You've tried that. You've done everything in the process. After refinement, if you remember very well, let me show you. Let me share this. Maybe it will help you to. Just a second, because I need this to help you. I hope I can get it. I wanted to look at the transformation process so that you can see which part I am talking about. I'm talking about refinement, but I wanted you to see. I hope I can find it. The one that I shared, you remember what I shared yesterday? Okay, let me just generate it from here. I'd already, I already had it. Okay. Mhm. So let me share this because I want us to be on the same page. I want you to understand very clearly what I'm saying. Okay. So look at that. Can you image well? Now, you see, in the transformation journey, you have come from purpose. Okay. What you face daily shapes your journey. Okay. Those are the experiences that you're picking. Okay. And now you're very intentional. Before, you were having those experiences, those encounters, but you were not paying attention. But because you are now on a very intentional journey of transformation, you're paying attention to everything that you are experiencing. Okay. And as you can see that this is a mountain. Okay. You're climbing a mountain. Okay. You're going to get to the exposure. What do these encounters reveal? What's within you? Okay. And then you're going to get to reconciliation. You choose to respond and realign with truth. Those are the decisions you make. Okay. And then integration. That is the alignment. Truth becomes visible, very visible. Okay. In how you live and lead. Then it gets to sustainability. Now, as you go on revelation, discernment, responsibility, response, I'm talking about this stage of refinement. Before you get to that yellow thing up there called purpose, okay, where you impact others, you are shaped, sharpened, and prepared for greater impact. In the refinement stage, after you have gone through all these phases, okay, in that is where growth starts happening. You start seeing visible, and I'm sure most of you are in this level because you've been going through this on a daily. Now you are being shaped. When you are in this phase, before you shut that door, okay, before you shut that door, now do you understand what I mean? Does it make sense? Before you shut that door, you go through that preparation. You're in community, you're giving all the accountability and all, yeah? Then you now have to enter. What is that is hidden? Everything that you have experienced, those repeated, you're like, but I am going through the process. This thing still keeps coming back. The thing still keeps following you. Yes, it is following you. so that you can overcome. And it shows up in different environments, different people. That thing that haunts you chases you everywhere you go because there's a formation that's happening to you. Like temptations, yeah, old patterns basically, old patterns, old negative behavioral patterns. Maybe let's say in your lineage, you used to struggle with bitterness and anger. It will keep following you. It will until you overcome. You overcome. So that's what happens between awakening and that formation. That's the refinement bit. But now time comes when okay, you have gone through the process. I have given you repeated experiences, and now it's time for me and you. It's a totally different stage. You may not be there right now, but I want you not to give up because it is there. It will happen. So as you go through whatever you're going through right now, look forward, knowing that that hidden oil that has been boiling up, that has been going through this community, this refinement, correction, now it has to go through the final testing. Okay? It has to go through an isolation between you, like between you and God, because you're going to prepare now for the final assignment, like sustainable assignment. Before it can multiply, it must be purified privately. Casey, does it make sense now? That's why those repeated tests are allowed. And that's why all these familiar patterns keep returning. They keep returning, but at deeper levels. Every time you go deeper, they come. Deeper, they come. Deeper, they come. Heard what people keep saying, new levels, new devils. That's what happens. They keep coming. But there's a time when you have to now shut that door so that you can carry authentic oil, and that is what differentiates you from everybody else. And this is a time when also healing happens. There are things you cannot do on your own. That's when healing happens. This is when you find rest. This is when you find rest. But it's only when you shut that door. But you will be late. Don't worry. Don't. What I don't want you to do, I don't want you to give up. Because every awakening must eventually lead to separation. You see, borrowing vessels represented movement, okay? Mentorship, community, accountability, exposure, preparation. But after all that, shut the door. We will come next. Because growth cannot be external all the time. No. That the borrowed wisdom must now become personal conviction. You must sit down and reflect. And you cannot build destiny entirely in those public places like this one. Like how you got rid of anger issues. You cannot build it entirely in public spaces now. This is when people say, hey, you're too quiet. What is happening? It's a formation that's happening. And that point has to come when God separates you so that your dependence is on noise. It's completely broken. Broken. Whatever you've been hearing, the noise, too much noise, the criticism, the slander, the malice, the everything, the discouragements, the distractions, God will completely separate you. And only He will direct you. And that is where your identity is going to be formed privately. It becomes uncomfortable, by the way, because the crowd can no longer validate that process of yours. And you have been getting validation from the public. Now imagine there's no validation from the public. No validation. Hidden oil is revealed in the secret place. That oil that did not multiply in the public will multiply behind closed doors. So I'm taking you through the process so that you don't give up. What I don't want you to do is to give up, because the other part between awakening and the part I'm talking about is tough. So many people run away from that. So many people, but I'm telling you what is ahead of you so that you keep holding on. You keep holding on. Real capacity is formed privately. The capacity that has been forming during the process between awakening, yeah, and this final separation, it may not be as, oh, I think, as sweet. For me, I would look at it as sweet as the one that is formed behind closed doors, because you realize that you are missing a lot, but in the silence where you even sit and you just sit and wait, then you receive an instruction. You know what is happening in that secret place? Your character is being purified completely. Every motive is exposed. A lot is exposed to you. Things you didn't even know were happening in your life. And all the weaknesses in you will be confronted one by one. You know what is happening? Your identity is going through a stabilization, step by step, and you will learn how to endure. You know what they call spiritual endurance? It will be built in you. That there is war that can come to you, and you're like, what is that? Because you've gone through that refinement. That's why I don't want you to give up. That too much pain, the war that you will experience will be war. But let me tell you, don't give up, because emotional maturity is coming. Everything that you're experiencing right now, you will be very surprised at how mature emotionally you will become when in that final separation. And your discernment will become so much sharper. You see, I've been telling you discernment, responsibility, I've been teaching all these things, but all that, if it's like, let's say, on a scale of 1 to 10 in the refinement process, you'll be getting like, let's say, 5. In the final separation, like that separation, when you are building a relationship, when it's now just the two of you, you've collected the blood vessels, you've done everything. When you're just the two of you, now the discernment, the movement from 5 to 10 is so swift, it's so much sharper. But you see, most people do not wait for this part, because you can't dictate when you get to that part, because it's God who qualifies you. You don't qualify yourself. Most people announce themselves too early. They leave the process before the refinement is complete. And I want to encourage you, please do not leave the process before the refinement is complete. It will be worse than it was before. It will be worse than it was before. Because when you have not completely healed, if you run out of refinement, whatever you experienced before you were even awakened, it will be times 7. Because you will not have allowed yourself to complete the process. That delay that you think is delay between awakening and consecration, consecration is the final separation, is called refinement. That is where you assume you're going in circles. You're going in circles because the familiar patterns keep repeating, reappearing, reappearing. You're wondering what is happening. I met this person. It looks like the same spirit that was in here. And then they hurt me this way. And then God allows it to happen. He allows it to happen. Imagine, he allowed Joseph to be thrown in the pit. Then he's picked up by slaves and sold. Oh, that is pain. Because he was sold twice. Sold by the brothers. When he reached Egypt, the slave traders also sold him. I'm like, God, have you forgotten me? That's painful because that's emotionally painful. Tortures you emotionally. Then after that emotional torture, then you enter Potiphar's house. Now the wife is busy being funny. Then what happens? You're thrown in prison. The same exact spot. Didn't he be, wasn't it in the hall where the slave traders found him, where he was sold? Now again, you're thrown back into the hall, prison. Even the people you helped forget you. That's exactly what happened to Joseph. So, because of that period between awakening and consecration, which is refinement, you're going to feel like you're going around in circles. You're going to feel like things are reappearing. I hope now you understand with that example. But that transformation is not repetition. It's not repetition. It is refinement through repeated testing. You have to go through that repeat for a purpose. And that same weakness will return. If it was anger, it's going to return. Deeper levels, every level. Fear, it's going to return. Bitterness, it's going to return. Pride, it's going to return. And how you will see that how you respond is totally different at every level. But it has to come back to test where it once was. That validation addiction is going to return. That emotional instability, it's going to return. Wrong relationships might return. You may be tempted a little bit. Impulsiveness might return. Distractions may return. But each time they return, it's at a higher level. Why? Because what is hidden inside you, that oil must be tested until it becomes stable. Until it becomes stable. Until you can touch it and it doesn't move. Until you provoke it and it doesn't move. So God will allow these situations repeatedly until the lesson becomes part of your nature. So do you understand now? If you've been experiencing the challenges that I'm talking about, the impulsiveness, the wrong relationships, the emotional instability, that validation addiction, the distractions, you're going to be repeatedly tested in that. And if you prematurely expose what you like the procedures, it will happen. It will happen. You're a human being. So don't beat yourself up for that. No. It will happen. At some point you may prematurely expose, yeah, what you're doing, the process. Because I mean there are familiar um disciplines or behaviors or habits that they go away with time, like that validation addiction. You may want to, this, you understand? So many people leave this process too early because this isolation feels uncomfortable. Imagine you used to seeking validation and now you need to isolate. Ah, you're finding it hard. You're finding it hard. But remember, this premature visibility, it creates very unstable leaders. If you come out before you are fully formed, you're going to be unstable. And when you avoid correction, you see the reason as to why people run away from the process is they avoid correction. They don't like the sound of correction. And the reason as to why that is because they carry unresolved wounds. And if you avoid correction, you're going to carry those unresolved wounds into your leadership. You're going to confuse gifting with maturity. Now, this one, let me first talk about this one. You're really struggling with network? Can you go off and on and see if it will work? Sorry about that, Casey. Are the rest okay? Let me talk about gifting a bit because you can confuse. You see, I keep saying nurturing your innate abilities. Now, when you nurture your innate abilities and you get so excited because you have these abilities, you have these gifts, and you go out there and you start, you know, using them to do whatever they do because it is you. Your gifts are your gifts, okay? But if you confuse that gift with maturity, this is what happens. You will have gifts, yeah, but you will be like, you know, those bells, gongs, gong, gong, like loud noise, but with an echo. What is that echo? It is empty. There is no fruit that is coming from that bell, from that gong, gong, gong. You have the gift, yes, but there's no fruit. There's no fruit. There's no self control. Everything to do with lust of life, lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, and the pride of life, they are all manifesting through you. There's no fruit. There's no patience. There's no love. There's there's a hypocritical everything. That's why they say, test the spirit by its fruit. These giftings can confuse you, and you think, I'm gifted. Gifted. But when there's a lot of emptiness, there's no fruit. And that is, you see, every time you avoid correction, that is what happens. You feel like you and I know it all. You are gifted and very highly gifted. You go out there and use your gifts. But which flow are you trading your gifts? Is it a flow of heaven or a flow of the kingdom of darkness? Because you're not refined. Compromise is your number one thing. Every time you're not refined, you will be an unstable leader. And don't confuse um, false humility for maturity. That's a whole topic to talk about, but this gifting thing, you have to be careful. You have to be careful. You have to be careful. Don't allow these gifts to excite you. Yes, we nurture them. Yes, we overcome obstacles, but you must go through the process because you must be able to guard, to preserve, and ensure continuity. But you can't have that sustainability if you have not gone through the refinement and you think that you're mature because you have gifts. Don't be confused. You find yourself building platforms without foundations. The foundation is very important because if you just confuse that gift with maturity and go out there and you announce yourself early and you build a platform without a strong foundation, without having gone through the whole process till the end, especially when it comes to consecration, because most of the people jump out during the refinement stage when the pressure is too much. But you know what? That vague foundation or platform that you're building is going to attract pressure that you cannot sustain. Refinement is not a punishment, it is preparation for weight. So when you run out, you're going to be a fragile leader because of premature exposure. And this consecration that I'm talking about, where are you headed? It requires closing certain doors. Shut the door means limit the distractions, protect your focus, reduce the noise, separate from environments that drain your growth, allow good uninterrupted access to your inner life. Network is disturbing you as well? Why? Two people? That is weird. Kez, is it fine right now? Is it fine now? Juliet, can you also log off and log on again? Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Okay. And the rest, Mia, are you all okay? Brenda, are you fine? Grace, are you all okay with the network? Please confirm and as I continue. You okay? Okay. So I guess they should just log off and log on again. Okay. So when I talk about this consecration, it doesn't always mean physical isolation. You okay? Okay. Thank you very much, guys. Okay. Thank you. It doesn't, this isolation does not always mean physical isolation. No. Sometimes it means emotional and mental separation from patterns that keep delaying your transformation. It doesn't have to be only physical. It can be emotional, it can be mental. Sometimes you have to shut that emotional door, shut that mental door, shut it down, shut it down. For the oil to flow, some doors must be closed. So I hope I've given you um, an enough, an in-depth awareness and understanding of the journey that you're taking. And I've showed you in the refinement stage, you're going to either jump out and run away, or you're going to continue so that you get where you need to go. Okay, please do not jump out of the process. Okay, so reflection session. What recurring pattern keeps appearing in your life? You must be having a recurring pattern that appears in your life. For example, do you attract the same dysfunctional partnerships because discernment has not yet matured? And don't beat yourself up because of that recurring pattern, because the moment you recognize it, that is when you're going to ask the right questions. What do I need to do? Show me where I have not been paying enough attention so that I can start paying attention and stop attracting dysfunctional partnerships. Because then you'll understand, okay, that means my discernment has not yet matured enough. That's why I keep attracting the dysfunctional partnerships. Okay? Because ideally, you're supposed to be attracting healthy partnerships. But why do you keep having dysfunctional partnerships? Is there something in you that needs to be uncovered? And that's the exposure phase in the transformation process. So, what is that that keeps recurring, that pattern that appears in your life? Casey says her network is disturbing her, so let me help her and ask her and put the reflection question here. Okay, so question 2, are you avoiding a process because it feels repetitive? Are you at any point avoiding now this because it keeps repeating itself? Now you run away from it, you avoid it. And like I said earlier, avoiding it makes it worse. The more you avoid, you're going to find it. Don't avoid it. Allow it to come, however painful it may be. Allow it to come. So are you avoiding any part of the process because it feels repetitive? Especially if you're going through refinement right now. For example, if you keep reacting emotionally, yeah, under pressure, it just shows that emotional stability is still being refined. So sometimes you may be like, keep quiet because this thing just keeps coming back. This thing just keeps coming back. Allow it because it's refinement that is being done in you. So it's not like there's something wrong with you. So what are those distractions that are preventing deeper transformation? What are those distractions that are preventing deeper transformation? What are those distractions that are preventing deeper transformation? This is work that you're going to do in your private time. I can see you're not very active right now. I understand because I may be a little bit ahead of you. But the reason as to why I have to still take you through these classes, I need you to prepare to know that I'm not going to leave. Because if I leave, Jacinta said, there's the other part. I don't want you to jump out. So if you've not yet reached this level that I'm talking about, it's okay for you not to. Don't put yourself under a lot of pressure. But at least it will make sense when you're experiencing it. You will remember. I once had this. Have you ever heard of something and you honestly do not understand what they're talking about? And then you get to hear, then you start experiencing it, and you're like, I've heard about this. Oh, so this is what she meant when she said this, because now it's coming experientially to you. Okay, you are experiencing it in real time. That's why I'm saying right now it may not be understandable, but the reason as to why I am led to give this to you is because I need to prepare you. That's why you see. Now I hope this makes sense when I say prepare beyond where, beyond you. Don't put limitations. Even when you don't understand, you are receiving the information. By the time you get there, it will not find you shocked. You will be a bit prepared. Okay? So if you've been mistaken in refinement for failure, yeah, like for example, if you're a visionary and you keep restarting projects, yeah, because you may find that patience has not yet been formed. You keep restarting, but patience, you're not patient enough to allow yourself to go through the pain, to allow yourself to go through maybe like the failure, and then pick yourself up and then see what's the reason, what is the root cause, where is this coming from, and you go through the process. Because if you don't allow yourself to go through the process of why have I failed, what is the root cause, I need to uncover everything. And the moment you allow yourself to uncover everything while you keep restarting projects, you're patient enough to unearth everything and deal with everything that has been hindering you almost all your life. Trust me, you will be a stable leader because you will have dealt with every root cause. You have given yourself time rather than going, starting again and then failing, starting again and then failing. No, this time round, you say, let me take a sabbatical. I'm going to focus on that hinders me. I need to find out. So don't mistake refinement for failure. Everywhere where you feel you have been failing, it's not because you're a failure, it's not because things are hard, but it's because that is part of the process. It takes time. So, what is that door? Hmm? What door might God be asking you to shut in this season? Could you have a clue of the door that God is asking you to shut? Are you struggling with, for example, pride, anger, bitterness? Is that something you need to shut? Hmm? Because your identity still depends on recognition. What do you need to shut? You need to identify anything that you need to shut that is thriving on that addiction to validation, that is thriving on people pleasing. You're trying to fit in. So you find yourself compromising. What door might God be asking you to shut? Okay? In this season, you need to shut it so that you can consecrate, basically. Mhm. So the next question is, are you trying to become visible before becoming stable? Are you trying to become visible before becoming stable? Are you trying to become visible before becoming stable? Because remember, that oil, as you go through capacity building, only God will give the increase. But He will direct you now. You go here, and He will train you in the areas where you are actually supposed to be. If He has to train you on a public platform, it's because you're going to be on a public platform. And unfortunately, all your flows are going to come out on that platform where He's training you from. I'm sure you leaders, wherever you are, and maybe you have teams and you're being trained in front of your teams. God is carrying out it in front of your teams. David had to train with the sheep. So all his flows came out in front of those sheep, but he didn't know that those sheep represented actual people, armies. His was his own different training. Now everybody has their own roadmap. And that's what you need to find out. What is mine? How is God directing me? So, what is that weakness that keeps appearing because it has not yet been overcome? Don't blame yourself. We all have challenges or weaknesses or vulnerabilities that we struggle with. But what is that keeps reappearing? And remember, I told you, surrender those weaknesses. Surrender those weaknesses. Okay? So, the repeated challenge, I will tell you, is not accidental. It is revealing unfinished formation. Mia, does that ring a bell? The repeated challenge is not accidental. It is revealing unfinished formation. Do you have any questions before I go to the framework, the how do we navigate refinement between awakening and consecration? Because that's exactly where you are. You've been awakened to who you are. You wouldn't be coming to these classes every day, but it's because you have been awakened. Now, how do you navigate the refinement between that awakening and consecration? Step one, stop interpreting delay as abandonment. Do not interpret delay as abandonment. Not every delay means stagnation. No. Some delays are protection and preparation. It is preparing you so that you're not an unstable leader, so that you are a stable leader. Stop interpreting delay as abandonment. God has not abandoned you. No, He has not abandoned you. Okay? So have you been feeling like you're delayed? Who has been feeling delayed? Hmm? Who was feeling like, these things are delaying? Hmm? Who of you here felt I am delayed? Share. share. You've been feeling delay, Aja? Okay, thank you. Who else? You? Okay, yeah. Okay, I'm glad that you acknowledge. I'm glad that you acknowledge. Acknowledge. So that delay may look like it's delay. No, it is protection. It is preparation. It's also teaching you patience. You thought things were delayed. Yeah, I know. I know. They are not. But I think as you have been going through the process with me, you've realized that it's not delay. You've realized a lot of things that you have not yet entered into. Have you? Please confirm that. Because it's only in the process when you find out also this one, also this one, also this one, then you realize, thank you for not releasing me early. Thank you for not giving me this. Thank you for not. You start thanking because now you're realizing, yes, it's preparation. It's preparation. And it can stall. You can feel like it's taking too long. But it's just preparation. It's preparation. You need to be ready for where you're headed. If you go before, you're going to be, you're not going to benefit much from it. So step two, um, track those repeated patterns. Please, please, please track those repeated patterns. You need to pay attention to the repeated emotional reactions. Pay attention to those repeated emotional reactions, to those repeated relationship cycles. What are they telling you? Hmm? Repeated fears, those repeated triggers, those repeated failures. Pay attention to those patterns because they reveal unfinished areas of transformation. If you don't pay attention to them, then you won't be able to know what exactly haven't I uncovered. Don't push them away when they're coming to you. Mhm. If God gave you wealth early, marriage and wedding, a lot of mistakes would have been made. Exactly. 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 And that takes a lot of maturity for you to be able to realize that. And I'm glad that you have acknowledged it. Because you need to experience these repeated interruptions. Yeah? These repeated emotional reactions. Because then whatever you repeat, deal with. It's exposed to you, you deal with it. Those repeated relationship cycles, and you realize, this is not the kind of relationship I'm supposed to have. You start now understanding deeply, deeply. Because then you realize this doesn't serve where I am going. This doesn't serve where I am, who I am supposed to become. All those repeated fears, they need to come back again and again. So track them because they're going to help you. They are going to reveal every area of transformation that is unfinished. Every pattern will come out. So take it positively and you'll be very, very thankful to God that you allowed the repeated patterns to show up. Okay? So step three, allow correction without defensiveness. This one is a personal choice. This one is a personal choice. You see, growth becomes delayed when correction is resisted. The more you resist correction, you delay growth. And a teachable spirit accelerates refinement. The moment you become teachable, you'll see speed in your refinement. Every single day, you will see a difference in yourself. Every single day, you will have a revelation. Every single day, you'll be like, what's happening? Let me tell you what is happening. You have become teachable. You have allowed correction without being defensive. You have allowed yourself to be vulnerable enough to say, I am weak. Every time you hold, growth will be delayed. Every time you resist correction, growth will be delayed. And by the way, all of you here, you're amazing. You have been acknowledging where you're wrong. You have been identifying and acknowledging areas where you have contributed to what what it is that you're experiencing, and you manage to even say it out now. That takes a lot of humility. Humility. Not everybody accepts correction. No, not everybody accepts correction. You guys are amazing. And that's exactly why you are seeing yourself growing. That's why you come back here always and say, my sister saw a shift. Why did they see a shift? Because you have a teachable spirit. So pat yourself on the back. Be happy. Sometimes you need to celebrate yourself like, I've really improved in this area. You don't have to always be in the mode of correct this, do that. No, no, no. You have to see the difference between you before and now. You're no longer defensive. You're allowing correction. You're not resisting it. And that's a very good thing. It's very positive. Okay? That one I commend you guys. Step 4, protect your inner environment. Now, this one is very important for you to reduce unnecessary noise. That constant comparison. Do not compare yourself with anybody else. Do not compare yourself with anybody else. Your journey is different. It's unique. You are different. Your identity is totally different. If you want God to restore your identity to the original version, please protect your inner environment by reducing noise. Do not compare yourself with anybody. Ditch toxic conversations. Completely keep away from those toxic conversations. Anything that interferes with your spirit, ditch it. Those endless distractions, get away from them. Any environment that weakens your discipline, an environment, I mean, it could be mental, emotionally, physical, those, any environment that weakens your discipline, ditch it. Because this oil will multiply in protected spaces. As long as you're in environments that are destructive, too much noise, too much comparison, toxic conversations, endless distractions, something wants to feed on your energy. You have to protect your inner environment. Protect your spaces, guys. Mhm. This one cuts even more deep. Yes, it does. Yes, I understand, by the way. I understand. I understand. But it is what it is. You have to go through this process. I knew that today would be a bit deep as well. So I'm trying to be a bit calm. So step 5, build consistency before visibility. See, we like visibility. That's the truth. Yeah. Whether in our workplaces, whether in business, whether in our families, we want to also be seen that we are doing something. But you see, you need to learn how to focus less on being seen and more on becoming stable, especially if you're coming from a dysfunctional family background environment, because You were programmed to think that validation, people pleasing, trying to fit in, compromise, silence is the normal until you get into a space and realize this is not normal. But now remember, there is consistency that is required of you to completely detach, separate, heal, remove, dismantle, disintegrate, destroy, uproot, throw down you. Sustainable leadership is built privately first. So this consistency is required of you before visibility. You may think, no, I'm good. I'm now good. No. Only God knows that you're good. By the way, when you're good, by the time you become good, it comes at a point when that silence should tell you exactly what I am saying. By the time you are good, yes, consistency over perfection. By the time God says, now you are good to go, let me tell you, you will have died everything outwardly. Doesn't matter what anybody says. You even look at criticism and smile because you will have died. Because that refinement is a new you that it forms if you allow it. But by the time you're done, you are a precious stone. Imagine when you're shining, shine. That is the fruit I'm talking about. You're gifted with fruit. You're gifted with new garments. You're gifted fully dressed. Only God can give you that. But if you rush to get out, you will not host His glory. Don't rush. My dears, Brenda, Grace, Mia, Casey, Sim, eh? Hajar, Juliet. Don't rush. Be patient until the patterns break. Do not run from refinement prematurely until your reactions change, your wounds heal, your weakness weakens, your identity stabilizes, and the lesson becomes nature. Like it's so natural, it just flows. If you rush, I'll have played my part. You are the one who's going to have failed, not me. So as I conclude today, good. This journey between who you have awakened to, because now I know your eyes are open, okay? Your ears are open. You can understand very well what I am talking about. Because I remember we said, I'm now feeding you meat, but you still moving on. You've not dropped off that, just sit up back. You're still in class. This journey between awakening and shutting the door is often the longest and most uncomfortable stage of transformation. I want to warn you before, and I don't want you to run away. But it is where God refines your identity through repetition, repetition, correction, testing, separation. That is what is happening in that stage. And this stage is very necessary because what is happening is this oil is being formed inside you. It must be strong enough to sustain the assignment ahead. If it's not refined, if it doesn't go through that refining and refining, you've seen sunflower oil. You see, it's almost transparent. You could think it's not oil. You put it on the pan and it's not like sticky. Just imagine the refining. I think it doesn't even go through refining because it's sunflower. Because it's sunflower. So before multiplication, I know we want the multiplication, and I keep saying be fruitful, multiply, but before the multiplication is consecration. Okay? Before visibility, there is stability. And only God. You need to first go through the stability thing. No, you're no longer complaining, you're no longer all those things, you're just looking at them. You will be patient with the process. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. That's important. It's good to hear, by the way. Before this public oil comes private refinement. The secret place, that secret place is where destiny is formed. Destiny doesn't disappear in the secret place. It is actually really, really formed in the secret place. But first, you have to get out, gather the vessels, be in community, da, 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 da. And when it is time for the vessel to be formed, that is when consecration comes in. Sometimes it is 3 months, sometimes it is 6 months, but the other period, some people even take 20 years in refinement, some for 15, some 10, some. Okay, so identify one recurring pattern, one distraction, one weakness, one door that needs to close, and write them down honestly because that's your assignment today. Identify one recurring pattern to help you. Okay, one distraction, one weakness, and one door that needs to close. Okay, and ask yourself, am I trying to escape refinement or am I allowing God to complete the process? You can ask yourself that, you're good to go. Ah, that's it. That's it. So, unless anyone has anything to say, that is it for our end of week lesson. Continue on Monday. Take it that the silence is conviction, reflection. But it's beautiful when you're done. It's really beautiful when you're done. Takes time, but it's beautiful. Anybody has anything to say before we say goodbye? Hmm? This topic has been tricky. No, we don't have step 7. You're welcome. What do you mean tricky? Like hard? Hmm? What do you mean by tricky? Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome, guys, and see you on Monday. I've given you my number just in case you have anything that you want to talk about. If you want us to meet tomorrow and have our venting out, you can WhatsApp me and then we can have a Google Meet maybe for 30 minutes, an hour. And we just, if you feel like just talking, so I'm available for you. So that one it's on Google Meet. Okay? Have a blessed weekend too. So, bye guys. I'll see you on Monday if we don't meet tomorrow. Nice weekend to you too. Oh, thank you. Thank you for saying that. You're welcome. You're welcome. Bye, guys.